Talking about race in America is kind of like wandering into the YA section of a bookstore and asking for something dystopian. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to be more specific than that. Let's address mild racism in our mild apocalypse. Welcome to the Liberal Conspiracy. I'm filming on the road instead of my usual studio. It's either a trendy brick wall or an even trendier dungeon. And no, I'm not fleeing to Canada just yet, but it's not exactly difficult to grasp why anti-Asian racism is on the rise right now. Why is it messed up to call COVID the Kung flu or the China virus? Viruses don't have nationalities. No one says mad cow disease is the British virus. No one refers to the bubonic plague as Eastern European cough. And people don't call chlamydia the Timothy Chalamet disease, even though we can trace outbreak origins to each. At the beginning, people denounced such behavior. China virus is bad, they say. But with enough repetition and no recourse, everyone is like, I guess that's a thing he does. That's like if your mom is like, don't break windows in the house, that's bad, and then you keep breaking windows, and then your mom is like, I guess he's just a kid who breaks windows. Let's elect him to 4 more years of window breaking. This language aids a favorite behavior of horrible leaders, scapegoating. Allow my Jewish half for a second to explain my Asian half. Scapegoating refers to blaming a person or group of people for the faults or wrongdoings of others. You might better know this concept as throwing a continent of people under the bus. The term scapegoating is actually a Jewish word. It refers to when the high priest during Yom Kippur would put the sins of the people onto a goat and send the goat into the wilderness, along with everyone's sins. In theory, this is an amazing concept. I mean, how great must it feel to do something awful, wait for Yom Kippur, and then be like, that goat cheated on my wife. She was devastated. That goat was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein in the Miss America dressing room. Every room I've ever been in. The goat, beautiful, terrific goat. Scapegoating has a long history of being used to discriminate against minorities. Jews were scapegoated for Germany's economic failures, which led to the Holocaust. There was also scapegoating the Jews during the Spanish Inquisition, not to mention scapegoating Jews during the plague. By the way, anyone can say Jews, that's fine. You just can't say Jews. It's the only slur where emphasis matters. So now Asian Americans are being scapegoated for the failed COVID response in the US and a failing economy. Well, what are we gonna do? Continually call out racism? Like every day? That is exhausting. It is. 62% of Asian Americans said they haven't been contacted by the Democratic Party. AAPIs have not been engaged as a political group, yet they are the fastest growing population and have the numbers to swing elections in key states like Nevada and Virginia. It's like we've been crouching here in our own home, hiding our own potential, and this moment calls for us to step up. To discuss the untapped power of the AAPI community, comedian Sherry Cola. Sherry Cola, actress, comedian from Freeform's Good Trouble, queen of the hustle, thanks for joining the program. We are the model minority because we're so cute. But what happens when, these models become the first models this president doesn't find that he wants to grope?
First of all, we are very cute. It's such a bummer, this whole Kung flu thing, but it kind of was this, the silver lining was that our community decided, oh, we're not going to take the shit. Whether it be, getting engaged and active in politics and just realizing, oh, we need to fill out the census. You know what I mean? We need to go mail in our ballots.
I feel Asians in America have this remaining outsider complex, which results in either a desire to assimilate or just completely check out and do your own thing. So, why is it so hard culturally to make this group feel seen?
I'm an immigrant myself. And my mom is even more of an immigrant in terms of like her English is not 100%, but she freaking voted. She straight up voted this year. Still trying to wrap my head around why we were so not politically involved. But once again, I think it goes to like not wanting to rock the boat. There's so many layers, Josh. It's just like we have been treated unfairly. At the same time, we recognize that we do have a privilege that, Black and brown communities don't have, you know what I mean? So it's like very much that middle ground of like, who are we in a sense, right? All of us have gone through some shit, different degrees, but we want to not go through that shit anymore. So let's, you know what I mean? Link up and do something about it,
When there's an open Asian male role for a comedy, will it ever not just be Randall Park, Ken Jeong, or Ronnie Chang? Because I'm here now.
First of all, yeah, Josh. Let's put Josh in something. Uh, no,
Shameless
first of all, I love
plugs.
all. There are more opportunities for Asians, which is why I have all of the respect for those who paved the way. We have so much to offer. We are layered. We're sexy. We're funny.
Well, you did stand up in the before times, right? I was after a show at a bar and somebody just yelled, Asian Jew! Like, that's how we greet people. I'm curious if you have any of those sort of examples of mild racism.
I think the number one thing to do is not let it slide. I've gotten that slanted eye thing before. You know what I mean? And I did nothing about it. Here's the thing. They do it to us because they think we will do nothing about it. I was literally in an elevator in like February. He was like drunk for sure. He comes into the elevator and he sees me and asks me, do you have coronavirus? I'm like, that's inappropriate. And he was like, oh, is it? Like, oh, I've just been asking everyone. And I'm like, you need to apologize right now. Like, I said so many things. I'm like, how was this only like 3 floors of an elevator ramp? But anyway, my point is, it's like, just saying something about it, I think goes a long way, because then that white guy will be like, oh shit, okay, maybe I shouldn't say that to Asians anymore. It's possible. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm really giving them a lot of credit of like, maybe he'll walk away thinking, oh, I shouldn't do that because I spoke up. In a situation where I don't speak up, he will keep doing that. A good thing that has happened is like the normalization of having conversations, difficult conversations. Because, sometimes, people might not be in the loop. I'm just happy to have these conversations with a fellow Asian American. And because I think we're awake finally more than ever. And we realize, the life or death of this political situation. So let's get to it. Vote early. Don't wait until November 3rd. That is the deadline, okay? Vote.
Be like Sherry's mom. Go vote. So the new way to win over Asians, really anyone, is to meet them where they are, on Twitch, and buffets when families can go to those again. Campaigns should make more effort towards constituency outreach, like this.
Hi, I'm Josh Burstein, and I was a proud member of the Asian Jews for Obama constituency back in 2012. Asian Jews for Obama. And I'm even prouder to co-chair the official, unofficial Chinese Jewish Americans for Biden, or CJAB. CJAB is the kind of hyper-specific pandering we'd expect from an inclusive presidential campaign. The Asian American Pacific Islander constituency is filled with millions of citizens that white politicians don't know what to do with. What does this Punjabi family, first-generation Korean, and little Hawaiian boy have in common? Not a lot. Whatever. All 487 Chinese Jewish Americans stand with Joe, and you should too. He's a pretty good dude. He won't tell you to drink bleach. He never will float the idea of internment camps and is currently not pro-babies in cages. He listens to experts, values experience, and was never the inspiration for an 80s cartoonish villain facing Marty McFly. See jab, jab, cross, punch your ticket, ballot by mail for Joe this November and help save humanity from itself. Text Joe to 30330 30330
This problem probably won't just go away, so we'll keep these going until we're out of this mess. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and look out for more episodes right up until the inauguration of our next president.